All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our small contracts project. Let's have a look at what we went over today. Yesterday, you recall we finished our fixed size maps, or fixed size list. And today, we're going to be going over mappings. So, a mapping is a data type that is built off of two other value types. The first value type will represent the key of a mapping, and the other value type will represent the value of a mapping. We'll create an example of a mapping called myMap, which will be a public state variable. Now, to create this mapping, we'll call hash map followed by brackets. Inside the brackets, we'll need to declare the two value types of our mapping. We'll say that we want to map an address type and an unsigned integer of 256. So the first type will be an address, and the next type will be an integer of 256. So this is what our mapping should look like so far. We have the my map, our variable. Then we have a public. Then we have our hash map with the two value types of address and UN256. Now let's access our mapping. For this, we will also use a constructor. We use the self.map to restart, and we can move forward. Let me move down a little bit. And then we will add our key type, which is the address. So we'll say message.sender, which is a generic placeholder for an actual address. This is how we get the value for our map and stored at that address. And to store a value for our my map at the address, let's say equals 1. Now, for example, let's say we update the value, store at my map, we'll use the same steps as previously. So you can see down here, don't worry about the nums. This is from a different previous module. I'm going to be using that in the example over in the remix so I can show you exactly what's going on. So you can see here we have our self.mymap message.sender, which is a generic placeholder for an actual address. And it's going to store a value of 1. And then we're going to update that actual address to store a value of 11. So we actually run it. It'll have 1 without this. Just imagine this one wasn't here. It'll be 1 stored at this address. Then we would actually put the address back in and then put it equal to 11. And then the value will be updated to 11. But let me take you over to the remix ID so I can show you a little bit more what's going on. So you can see here. Now the reason I have to let me get this compiled and get it out of the way so I can show you what's going on and get it deployed. So we get it compiled, we get it deployed. Now the reason I have the numbers here, we can't use the my message right now because we don't have an actual address to put in. So I'm going to use an example of the numbers to show you exactly how it works. So let's see here. So you can see the my map here equals. We would have to have an address to actually access the values, which we don't. So I'm just going to use the numbers. So it would work the same way. We have self.numbers at this location here. We have this number stored 123, and at this location here we have stored 456. So we go to my numbers, nums, and we put in the first location. We actually hit the numbers there, and you can see 123 is at that location, that first location. So that's what's stored there. Now if we go to the second position in the index, let's put 1, hit it, 456. So you can see that the same thing would work with the my map. We'd actually put in the address, and you can see it would be stored. Number 1 will be stored there, and then if we actually remove the number 1 and put the 11 there and put the address back in, we will see that the 11 will be stored at this address. Like I said, we can't show you an example of the my map right now because we don't have an actual address to plug in. So that's why I use the self.numbers to show you it works the same exact way. We'd actually put in the location to show what's stored at that location, just the same way we would put in the address to show you what's stored at that address. So basically, that's what we went over today with the mappings. Like I said, it was pretty short. We're going to use the mappings and the struts as a whole together in the next section where you run in our remix IDE because they do work hand in hand. So I can show you better when we actually get back over here with our actual contract. I can show you how they work in the contract and how we're going to utilize them. But of course, I will keep you posted every step of the way. For now, it's the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.